And I think we're live, I think. Alrighty guys, let's get started. So welcome to the stream or the video, depending on when you will be watching this. I will leave like this stream recording on the channel so that if you guys want to watch later on but you guys couldn't, like you guys wanted to watch this but you guys couldn't, you can always catch up with like the information that I'm going to talk about next. So I'm just going to do a bit of, you know, grinding on the side as well while I am going to talk about this. This is going to be I would say about an hour or two kind of stream where I just literally go through like some of the key events that we might be going through, and potentially like when you want to save your original prime or things like that, or like when you want to go full in and pull whoever the operator is. So let's get caught up with where we are right now. Like this is pretty much where we are, right? We just finished the Thorns banner and then the Unectus banner, which is finished. As in events, it will be like pretty much right after where CN had the Obsidian Fest rerun and then the Chaos Fungi Mist. We're literally at the same place right now. So many of you would know we are going to get Surtur next as our next event. That is actually mentioned in the newest tweet right now on Twitter, where they announced the new operator. Let me check Twitter. Arknights EN. Where they just announced Arena today. And this is the same banner with Surtur. So we know Surtur will be coming next. So yeah, we know where we're going. So pretty much we will be getting the Surtur event next. We have already done the Granny event rerun already, so we're not going to get this. So pretty much if we're going to follow exactly the CN server's order, it's going to be Surtur event, and then we've got a Blemish event, and then we're going to get Chapter 8. But that is most likely not what we'll be getting. So maybe you guys wouldn't know this, but CN had Chapter 8 at the 1.5th anniversary, so 1.5 years after the game released is when the CN players actually got Chapter 8, and we are still roughly 4 months away from that. So most likely they won't do like Surtur and then Blemish and then go up to Chapter 8 straight away, right? Most likely what we're gonna get is some of the future events that are coming, and then they will shuffle those events back in to like before Chapter 8 is gonna come. Obviously we don't know what order they'll put it in, like how they screwed us over in CC Season 1. The one where we had W, right? They screwed us over because we were literally missing some operators because they changed some orders around. So maybe they can bring us CC Season 3 before then, which is going to like kind of screw up our gameplay, like a few strategies with CC Season 3 if we don't get Chapter 8 before that. So that is kind of worrying, but I'm not going to worry too much about it first. Since we already know that we're getting Surtur next, there is some like easier ways to do those CCs with Surtur. So there's really no worries in that front for me. So we still have Code of Brawl event. We have the Mountain event. This is the New Year event back then, but I don't think this will have anything to do with us. This is like a pure sign-in event, so it's not really that important. This is the Archetto, how do you pronounce her name? I'm not really sure. Event, and then there's a Chinese New Year event, which can really come at any time. Not gonna lie, this will be a limited banner. So if you guys like, I hope it's not going to come anytime soon, since we're literally going to have Chapter 8 where we're going to have a limited banner. And then right after this Chinese New Year event, we have the Ubisoft collaboration, which is Rainbow Six Siege collaboration. This also has a limited banner. So we're currently 3 limited banners behind, but only 4 new 6 stars behind. So as you guys can tell, there's a lot of new like limited operators coming our way. And yeah, that is quite a lot of stuff. So for those of us who wants to plan our Origin Prime, I mean, Liz, you can catch me live. You have a question? If you didn't get lucky with Certa, it's like really bad for chapter 8. Keep up with the good videos. So no, actually not. So okay, I will make a video specifically for Certa. You know how I usually do like the Shiju pool videos, where I go through like Shiju pool is real, like because they're strong, because they're not the most important, whatever. I always give out suggestions. This is a bit of a spoiler, but I would definitely recommend you to pull Certa. Like 100%. Not really for the reasons that you think. Like, she is definitely good, but chapter 8 is one of those special chapters where like just having DPS is not enough. Okay, you have to be flexible with your strategies and all that. And I would say probably the most important character is probably going to be Nightingale. You don't think Mountain Arcada will come before chapter 8? The new patch. Yes, that is true. There's the new like electronics material that is from chapter 8. But if you ask me, would they bring chapter 8 before 1.5 anniversary, especially since it does contain a limited banner? I would say no. So personally, to me, like I haven't really talked about this too much. Personally, for me, the most possible thing is Code of Broad rerun. I am pretty much certain that we will be getting Code of Broad rerun before chapter 8. I really have no doubt in that for myself, because it's the same thing as they will delay chapter 8 to 1.5 anniversary. We literally predicted that with I think it was the W banner, was it? Yes, it was. So we literally predicted that for W banner because you guys remember how we were catching up with content really quick before chapter 7, and then at that pace, like we all knew that we were going to reach chapter 7 before the 1st anniversary. So everyone was talking about like, oh yeah, definitely like they will want to release chapter 7 on the 1st anniversary. I think they will do exactly the same. So Code of Broad rerun will most likely be put forward, maybe in between like Certa or Blemish, or maybe after Blemish. Also, there's, I think, a high chance of CC Season 3 coming early. So if usually we count that there is about 3 to 4 weeks for each event, right? And let's say, as an example, let's say 3 weeks. So it's 1.5 months for 2 events. I would say that sounds right. And we are currently about 3.5 months to 4 months away from chapter 8, right? Even including some like time we're like just off and just have nothing, I would say if we put in 4 events from now on, like after Certa is announced, like is released, which is most likely coming next Wednesday, this coming Wednesday, which is the 24th, which is roughly the end of March, right? From end of March to about mid-July, we should have 3 months and a little bit more. So we can have Certa event, that's 3 weeks. Blemish on event, that's 1.5 months. CC, which is another 3 weeks. And then Code of Broad. That should give us 3 months of time, right? 3 months of time should be just enough to get us to chapter 8. If not, really if not, I can see like maybe a signing event like this one, but this one was from the like from 2020 to 2021 New Year kind of event. As you can see here, it started from the 24th of December last year. This is my guess, but that is about what we're gonna get, I feel like. So if that is what's to happen, potentially what is going to happen is then we will get Surtur banner, Blemish banner, and then nothing until chapter 8. Like, you can't really see the order here, but that is kind of my guess. So go for Surtur 100%. Surtur is important in terms of like how, I would say, brain dead she is to use. Whenever you have any situation that you're facing off, like let's say you're going into a new stage that you've never seen before, you're facing off a new boss. No matter how strong the boss is, drop Surtur. Let's say there's like a huge pack of enemy, but you don't have enough DPS to deal with them. Let's say your Silver Ash is on cooldown, or your AFL is on cooldown, or you just don't have the place to, you don't have the high ground to put down your AFL. You put down Surtur. She will destroy all of them. Whenever you need high DPS, no matter if the enemy has high defense or high resistance, whatever, a lot of them, a few of them, you drop Surtur, you win. That's pretty much the game from now on. That is why a lot of people say that Surtur is just really broken and just in general really OP. That's the reason why. Surtur just makes the game that much easier. You can think of how Thorns changed the game quite a bit. Surtur changes the game like a lot more than that. Now, next we have Blemish. So Blemish is one of those operators where I didn't really look forward to at the start, because I liked her art. Let's say that. Hello. So Surtur is like a nice to have for commodity. There are a few strategies that you can only pull off with Surtur, right? There are a few strategies like there are situations where Surtur is perfect in. I can show you like a quick example real quick. Actually, I'll leave the example for a video. I'll just talk about the concept real quick, since I don't want to switch over to my Chinese account right now. You can clear stages solo with a healer and skill 3. Yes-ish. So let's give you an example, okay? Do you remember H71, I think it is? Do you remember this stage? You know how you can put blocks down, right? You can shrink all the enemies into one straight line, put Surtur down, and just have like all your healers healing her. She will clear out the entirety of the map solo. All you need to do is just put a lot of medics on her and she will do the job. If you remember this map at all, yeah, that's how good she is. Like, you remember how you had to put like, oh, Silver Ash, I feel like all your really good operators on the field to finally get this clear? Surtur will solo this map easy. That is how broken she is. There is some downsides though. Like, you remember how we were talking about you need to put a lot of medics on her? She is literally losing, I think, about almost 2000 HP per second at the end of her skill. Like, after I think a certain amount of time, she will be losing about almost 2000 HP per second. So that's why you need all those medics to heal her, or else she's just gonna die on her own. Well, technically she won't die, because of her talent. She can literally retreat herself whenever she's about to die. So when you're using Surtur, you will never lose her DP. You remember how, like, I believe we've all gone through like these kind of situations, like maybe in CC, it's like, oh my god, this operator is about to die. We go into slow motion and we look at the enemy. They're about to attack. Oh my god, they're raising their hand. Okay, let's retreat the operator to recover our DP, right? You don't need to do that with Surtur. You just put her on the field, activate her skill, and she will, even if she like has like no HP whatsoever, right? She will stand on the field invincible. Think of like Spectre. She will stay there invincible for 8 more seconds before she auto retreats herself. So you won't lose that you won't lose that DP. Also, no matter how strong the enemy is, she will not get instant killed. You can't insta kill Surtur. That is how broken she is. Her skill 2 kind of good too, if not have. So genuine thought, I think all 3 of her skills are top notch in their own respective sense. I will talk about that in my Shiju pool video. I don't use all of them. I usually use main, like skill 3 main. But when she first came out in CN, we had a lot of talk about her skill 3, where we were literally going through like the potentials of her skills in different situations. And we realized that she's just so good in every single skill, like compared to other guards. So you know how usually, like, let's say skill 1, I'm just going to leech off, you know, ace ship a little bit here. So you guys remember how like usually all your skill 1s are like just next attack deals 100, like a few % of damage. Like it is genuinely true for most skills, right? And maybe like a bit of side effect. Surtur's skill 1 is literally the most special in terms of consistent damage. And I would say that she's got the best like consistency in that sense. She will deal a ton of damage with her skill 1. Her skill 2 is also like one of the most unique, but her skill 3 is the most broken. That's why everyone uses her skill 3. So next week, I hope you guys all get lucky and get like at least one Surtur. She will make the change, like she will change the game for you. Personally, I will be going for potential 4 because you know how I'll talk about her talent a bit in my Shiju pool video, but her talent actually makes quite a big difference, and I think she's worth my money. So I'm gonna try to aim for P4 on Surtur, and then in CC season 3, this one, Cinder. In CC season 3 Cinder, we will be getting an extra, you know, those materials where you can like give any 6-star operator a potential, the gold one, right? Certificate. These things. You will literally get one for guard, which I will most likely give to Surtur to get that extra 1 potential to make her potential 5. That is my current goal for Surtur. So yeah, really looking forward to that. Especially, as you can see, a bit of a spoilers, but as you can see, I've got my Original Prime ready to do exactly just that. I've got like 15k around them there, almost 550 Original Prime, and like 58 pool in tickets. So yeah, if you want to do a bit of study, you can obviously go check her out on Ace Ship. I think they got things summarized really well anyway. So if you just want to check out her skill, she is really good anyway. It doesn't hurt to check out her skill and learn about her a bit early. So next operator, Blemish. So Blemish is this really interesting operator where at first glance I didn't really like her skill set, right? There's a lot of like limitations to her skills. Like as an example, her skill 3 does not heal herself. Like she's a healing defender, right? And usually, you know how healing defenders like heal everyone, including themselves. Blemishine's skill 3 does not heal herself, which sounds really weird, doesn't it? And you might think, oh my god, Blemishine is so awkward to use. But eventually I realized, well, eventually not I realized, but from watching others gameplay with her, especially in like CC season 3, she's a good to have in terms of combination with other operators. Good luck with P4, man. Gonna look forward to the summons video. I am currently not sure where I will be posting a video or I'll do a stream on YouTube. We will see how that goes. We will see how that goes. But yes, Blemish actually works really well since that her healing capability is quite insane. And also her, what should I say, her talent actually helps with another unit that is about to come in chapter 8 as well, which is Mudrock, if you don't even know yet. But she helps Mudrock, she helps Surtur as well. And you know, generally we talk about like support operators, like let's say Sora or like Ark, or let's say you know those operators, or even like Suzuran, right? Usually we don't recommend bringing those supportive operators into the team as often, unless you're doing like this really special play, like let's say you're trying to go for like, oh, the maximum damage kind of strategy, right? And that is what I would say personally as well before Surtur and Mudrock comes out. Because the thing with Blemish is that she actually supports Surtur and Mudrock so much that she is actually worth bringing in some sense. Why? Because Surtur and Mudrock are too OP. Right? Usually we're like, oh my god, if you're gonna bring a like attack buff for like let's say Silver Ash, why don't you just bring another AFL in your team and have more DPS? Isn't that just gonna be better? It doesn't work in this case because no one can replace Mudrock. Where's chapter 8? Chapter 8, Mudrock, and Surtur. So especially when Blemishine can literally buff both of them when she's on the field, she is actually worthy of pulling. There is a limitation to that though. You know, you guys know how I talked about that. She also helps Mudrock. Personal experience from my Chinese account, I got Surtur, right? I loved her. I saw Blemishine. I was like, oh my god, look at this art. I really like her. I want to pull her. I pulled her. She wasn't like really OP. She's still good. She's still good as a healing medic. I mean healing tank. But I already have Zarya anyway. So she won't be my main healing tank anyway. And I used all my pulls in Blemishine banner. I couldn't pull Mudrock. So you see the problem? Blemishine is really good because she can buff both, like she can support both Surtur and Mudrock. But if you don't get Mudrock, the point of having Blemishine literally falls. You really want to try to roll Blemishine and Surtur, but since there's Mudrock and Rosmontis too, he gets Blemishine and he gets Tendril. So here's the thing. Here is the thing. Okay, I still have to keep talking about this. Like, there's a lot to go through. There's a lot going through now. You remember how I was... Okay, you might not be here, but I was talking about, like, they want to release Chapter 8 on 1.5 anniversary, right? And we're still, like, roughly 3.5 months away from one and a half anniversary. So, what is going to happen is they'll release Surtur now and maybe Blemishine, but that is only 1.5 months. So after Blemishine and Surtur banner comes out, you will actually still have another 1.5 to 2 months time to save your pulls before Chapter 8 hits us. Unlike the Chinese players. You see how the Chinese players got Chapter 8 literally right after Blemishine comes out? That might not happen to us. So my personal guess is that they will bring Code of Brawl rerun and perhaps CC Season 3 before Chapter 8. That will give you more time to save your pools. And potentially, this is a guess. I'm not sure that they will do that. But you know, remember how Chapter 7 was kind of delayed if we were following the actual like Chinese order of releasing content, we would have got chapter 7 way earlier, but they released like chapter 7 perfectly on first anniversary. You guys remember that? I think they will pull the same off, and that means you will get more time to save for chapter 8 limited banner. There's a catch though. There's a catch. Mountain might not come before chapter 8, but it might come right after chapter 8. Season 3 without Mudrock would be really hard. Agreed, but disagreed. Because you can literally use Surtur to deal with it anyway, so it doesn't really matter as much. Maybe they give Mustima a rerun, then after... Maybe, yes. Maybe they can do that. So we'll have to see which order they put out content. But I will bet that they will bring out chapter 8 on 1.5 anniversary. So I don't think you should be too worried about like not pulling Blemishine. I don't think you should be too worried. Unless they delay Blemishine event like right before chapter 8 is about to come out. So my like the best situation that can happen to us is we get Surtur event, then we get Blemishine, and then we get CC season 3 and Code of Brawl. Like, you know, then chapter 8. Then you'll have like about 2 months of saving Orundum time before chapter 8 hits us. What can be bad though is if because we know Surtur's coming next. It's literally in their Twitter, like literally announced today, where a ring is announced, right? So Surtur is definitely coming next week. What can be bad is if we get Surtur and then we get like CC and Code of Brawl rerun. Then they want to release Blemishine right before chapter 8. In that case, you don't want to pull too much in Blemishine banner. Because if that's really going to happen and then you go too deep into the Blemishine banner, you might use up all your pulls before chapter 8, which is something you don't want to happen. So we will see how that goes. I will definitely release another Shiju pull video when that happens. But yeah, we will see how that goes. I play games? Yes, of course I do. Oh, I mean, some people don't consider mobile gaming, but... You know. So... That is roughly about it for now, I would say. About pooling. So pooling is... We will have to see. But first of all, Surtur banner. Go full out on Surtur banner. We'll be fine. Lance's gonna book every... yeah. It's gonna bonk everything. No. But yes-ish. Right? You can still do CC Season 3 without Mudrock, no problem. I made it through in my Chinese account without Mudrock whatsoever. It's doable. And there are many strategies that doesn't require a Mudrock. You hope you get Surtur under 30 or 50 pull. So I think there was some calculations done where like on average, you will be getting a 6-star at around 34 pulls. I'm not sure if that's right or not. Assuming it's right, at least you'll be getting a 6-star no matter what. 60 pulls, including like 50, 60 pulls, you will be getting a 6-star no matter what. All you can hope for is that you don't get off banner. Because, you know, Arknights 50-50. This banner is trying to make spin and stop the free to play. It is. Ian without Weedy CC season 1 is fine, so you should be fine season 3 without Mudrock, hopefully. It is actually totally fine. So, as a small hint for CC season 3, from the strategies I've checked out, you do not need a Mudrock, but what you might want is a few more defenders, especially those ones that are not high in attack. So you know how or those that doesn't attack at all, like that tries not to attack. Because there's this simple technique where, you know how some of the enemies that only attacks when they are triggered. That's a huge hint, by the way. That's a huge hint. So there are some enemies that do not attack you unless you attack them first. And what happens with defenders is that you can literally block out all of those really harmful enemies with your defenders so they do not trigger. And then you can clear out all the other enemies first. Then clear out the hard ones. So I would say prepare 3 defenders that are rather low on defense or don't attack would be good. Moro can block Lancer, perk with shield. Yes. But you know who else can do it? If you have Shamir. You guys remember Shamir? Shamir can decrease the enemy's attack by 50% if you M3 her doll, which will help a lot with lances. Also, you can try like Suzerain's skill 3. Suzerain's skill 3 will slow the lances down because they deal more damage the faster they are, right? So if you slow them down with either, let's say, Suzerain, Saria skill 3, or you can maybe even do I don't know, Earth Spirit. Maybe Earth Spirit does the job, or you can try like any slow would do. Lances will not kill you. But obviously, like, Mudrug is the most OP, and I really want her as well, but... Did I just spoil that Mudrug is a her? I mean, at this point, we all know. I don't think that's considered spoilers, okay? Mudrug... We all know how it is. Okay? Let's skip that topic. Yes. So Mudrug is not the most essential from what I know. As long as you have a decent amount of defenders, you'll be fine. I think we only here already know. Yes, I believe so. We're fine. Like, I think even though like I feel like Arknights is still like a very popular game in terms of players playing it. But I think a lot of people don't really stick to like no spoiler kind of thing anymore. Like people who is staying with the game are all really dedicated fans, and either from like community or something else, I think a lot of people got a lot of spoilers anyway. I mean, Arknights is a thing. Yeah. Not to say like there are content creators that literally make content on the Chinese server anyway. So I just want to avoid spoilers as much as I can, but like these small spoilers should be fine. So yeah, 1.5 anniversary, chapter 8 I think is confirmed. A bit of a I think I should give a bit more hint for those who's actually like wondering about chapter 8. If you're not that, you know, if you're not that sure about chapter 8, you might think that it's going to be hard. My recommendation for you is level up your Nightingale, maybe even M3 her skill 3 might be a good choice. That's all I will give you. Maybe M3 her skill 3 would be a good choice. Oh, and personal opinion, but I think chapter 8 has the most annoying mechanic in the entire game. Chapter 8 will have the most annoying mechanic that we will ever face in the game. Beware and have fun. I really can't wait to watch like the English players like first time seeing and then like just suffer so hard like we did. Together you have to E2 Nightingale first, still on E140. So there's about 2 things that's really good about Nightingale in chapter 8. First is her birdcage, where she can bait range damage and sometimes even block range damage. Second is her resistance where you will gain resistance via her skill 3. Both of these things about Nightingale are really good in chapter 8. That's a bit of a spoiler, and even a bigger of a spoiler is the art of chapter 8. But I think we'll accept that because I'm literally talking about what's to come anyway. So, her, yes. After chapter 8, it will get a bit more interesting because most likely we will be getting Mountain right after chapter 8. If like they follow what I said, like literally moving Code of Bro and then Cinder to before chapter 8, most likely we will get Mountain right after chapter 8, which is when we are the lowest on our Orundum and Originite Prime. Mountain is OP. So you can think of things like Blaze or Thorn's level of OPness. That's how good Mountain is. But there is a downside of Mountain. He's a furry. It might be a downside or a good side for you. It depends on you. That's the problem of your taste. But for me, it's a downside, okay? Especially his chibi. Like, his art is quite awesome. I think I can show that right now. I think I can show the art. So, Mountain. He's pretty awesome. Like, his art looks pretty dope, right? You know, as people would say. Like, he looks pretty badass. And then his chibi is like... I'm not going to show his chibi, but it is one of the worst things that I have ever seen. I feel offended after seeing that. That's how bad it was. Wait, why is this not in order? In order. So yeah. Koko is also extremely versatile. Also, that banner is very good. Yes. So I would say the biggest downside of this whole thing is we're going to get Mountain right after chapter 8. It will depend on if you want to get Mountain or not, because as I said, he is pretty strong. But getting that limited operator is also really important. So that would depend on how you choose about things. Maybe you get really lucky, you know, and you get the limited operator from chapter 8. Then you can probably have enough to pull this. That would depend on your luck and what you want. Then there's Archeto. I'll call her Archeto. So, to be honest, you want Robin more than Mountain or Kafka? Robin is very interesting as an operator. Not only she looks good, okay? I'm not even talking about how like she's kind of really waifu, but her skill sets are extremely interesting and fun to play with. I would definitely recommend everyone to get Robin if possible. Robin is worth the pull. Maybe I can grab her out here. Where is Robin? Wait, is she? Yeah, here. Robin is a very interesting operator. She can place down traps as her like special thing. So she's a summon specialist. She can summon things as a specialist. This is like the first of its kind. You will build Robin. Her kit is quite interesting. She is. You still not have Shiny. Shining, I think you will be fine living without, especially if you have someone like Hoshiguma or Nien. You'll be just fine with like defense. Like maybe any other healer will do the job. You won't. Most of the time, you won't need the extra defense from Shiny. We will get the one pull every day with all limited operators like the W banner. We will. And the Robin, she's very good for emerging or literally make a minefield. There is also like really huge brain strategies where you can pull off only with Robin because of her mind placing abilities. So yeah, Robin is a operator that you want to look into in the future. I think Alice is from, yes. So you guys remember how I said our Cheto is probably not the best to pull for? But there is 2 operators in this banner that are really interesting. It's Alice, Iris, the Chinese name. So Iris is really good. Also, we have Beanstalk. So Beanstalk is our first Vanguard that can be placed on a high ground. So yes, this is our first ranged Vanguard. Also, she summons. So you definitely want to pull this banner just for Iris and Beanstalk, but maybe not so much for Archetto. Is how I feel. Because right after that, we will be getting CC Season 4 and then like the Chinese New Year event. Then we're gonna get Rainbow Six Siege. Rainbow Six Siege collaboration, we will be getting Ashe as a limited operator. And I don't want to put it this way, but I feel like Ashe can literally outperform Archetto in almost every sense. That might sound really like bad, because I'm not usually the kind of person that's like, oh my god, one operator is definitely better than the other one. But they kind of feel similar in a sense that it's like different versions of Exia. That's how I would put it. Ashe and Archetto are kind of a different take on Exia's role, but Archetto isn't really as good as Exia in terms of single target damage. So maybe she's like a bit better at like multi-target by a little bit, but not too much. Exia still does the job just fine. And then there's Ashe. You know how the biggest problem with Exia is that her base attack is too low, and her skill like multiplier is too low as well, right? That's your main problem with Exia. Ashe doesn't have that problem. Or should I say, Ashe has a way around that problem, because when Ashe uses her skill 2, she will use a flashbang to stun the enemies, and during her skill 2, she will deal 250% attack towards stunned enemies. You might think, well, if she's the only one applying stun, that means she's more like she's more single target focused. But because any stun will do, you can literally use other operators to stun enemies to help Ashe deal more damage. As an example, you can do Project Red, you can do W. You see where I'm going? Like, as long as you have these stun from other operators, Ashe can deal heck ton of damage compared to Exia, even with like versus enemies that have higher defense. And she's an like fast type anti-air sniper, just like Exia. Also, the thing I really like about Ashe, the thing I really like about Ashe is her skill 2 is actually more flexible. So I don't know if you guys have met this situation. So you know how your Exia is like using her skill 3, right? Because you can't really control Exia's skill 3, because it just goes burst for 15 seconds, right? It bursts for 15 seconds, but even if there is absolutely no enemy, it still has to burst for 15 seconds until she will start doing her cooldown of 30 seconds again. Now, let's look at Ashe's skill 2. I'm leeching off A-Ship again. I'm sorry, A-Ship. The best thing about Ashe is that she can literally cancel her skill duration anytime you want. And then there's only a 25-second cooldown, which means Ashe will be a more flexible operator to use in terms of when you want the skill to be activated and when you want to cancel it and let it go into cooldown. In that sense, I like Ashe better. This is a really special thing about Ashe. Also, I like her costume, but I'm not gonna take too much about that. Like, the costume's obviously really nice. Sounds like more hassle? That is absolutely correct. So, personally, I like Hoshi's skill 2 more than her skill 3. Because it's a passive skill. You don't need to activate skill or anything, right? You can just drop her and she's doing her job. Same with Exia. Exia is one of those you drop and you leave it alone kind of operator. So if you're in those situations where you want more control over when you want to have that burst damage, Ashe is better. Ashe is better. In those situations where you just want to drop and ignore, Exia is definitely better. So that will depend on your need and the situation. So I think both Exia and Ashe are viable options. I wouldn't say one is definitely above the other. Archetto, on the other hand, not so much. Not so much. Like, she's got like these ricochet arrows, whatever. I don't need ricochet arrows. I have other means to deal like multi-target damage. I don't need this. Also, this skill 2 only charges SP when she's attacking enemy. Pointless. I don't need it. Right? Her skill 3 is literally just further attack range, hit to target, Exia. Which I don't see the point in, because her attack isn't going to be that good anyway. Even at max attack, like max level, her skill attack is going to be like Exia, but she hits two enemy. That's about it. When is the next Genshin stream? I don't know. Okay, I can play Genshin on my own. I can play it with friends and enjoy it. But streaming Genshin to enjoy it is not really for me. I'm sorry. But yeah, personally, Archetto, not really it. Now, the New Year's event, where we get Dusk and Saga. I'm gonna come over here, I guess. So, this Chinese New Year event, I would say, is one of the most special ones that we've ever got. Like, it has some beautiful stages. Like, these are like really unique stages. Also, we get some really nice costumes, you know. And then we get Saga, which is very good. Dusk is... You know how Arknights works, right? All of you who's been playing till now, you know how Arknights works. Whenever there's a limited banner, let's say from the beginning, we have Nian and... Let's ignore this banner. Let's ignore this banner. Let's go to our second limited banner. So we have W and Weedy. Weedy is actually OP, like in terms of how versatile she is. Like, she can deal with a lot of like really awkward situations. While W is just, yeah, she's kind of nice to have as a AoE sniper, but that's about it. And then there's the second limited operator where is it? Where's the second limited operator? I mean, third. It's this one, chapter 8. So chapter 8, we have two operators as all we have two new 6-star operators as all limited operators, right? Limited banners. The limited one and the normal one. The normal one is Modrock, which is OP. The normal one is Rosmontis, which is another AoE sniper, but only hits ground units. And she's kind of fine. You know, that's how things always been. Limited, meh. Non-limited, OP. You can literally say the same for this one but a bit more balanced. Saga is not as OP from what I've seen right now, and Dusk isn't as meh, but it's somewhere more in between. So I would say this banner is quite balanced. Saga is really good. Dusk is nice to have. So that's the best thing about this banner, personally. So Dusk and Saga. Oh, by the way, Dusk has really good like attack animation. If you can, definitely get her. Maybe that's a bit too early, but you get the point. She looks her attack animation actually looks really beautiful. Then there's Saga. Saga skill 2 is one of those skills where you're like, you can, how should I put it? You just want to use her. You just want to use her. She's just good. That's it. But there's always a but from me, right? You know how our current strategy is resolved around wait, let me bring out my squads actually. Let me bring out my main squad. You know how our current strategy right now is you bring Bagpipe and you bring a Myrtle or Elysium or both of them. And you just pump out that DP so you can put out like the really strong operators like Thorns and Blaze. This will somewhat remain quite a bit in the future. Obviously, like you don't need like that much DP anymore because you have like more like stronger operators that can just stand or like on the field, or maybe like those maybe just get better at doing the whole DP management thing. Or maybe like the stage, some stages in the future just doesn't require that much DP anymore. So you don't need to do this. But the thing still holds where you don't really need that OP Vanguard at the start as much anymore. Saga skill 2 spam is really good. But that's about it. That's about it. Saga is nice to have. But if you ask me, is she like specific stage crucial, or like there's a single stage that definitely requires Saga? I haven't seen it yet. There's another but. You see how the Chinese event list ends here? This is where Saga came out. This is our current event in CN. What? There's not enough content for me to actually say that Saga is not needed. There's just not enough content for me to absolutely say Saga is not needed. So in terms of this, I think you guys might need to wait for like more CN content to pump out, then we can make the judgment then. But no worries, this is still really far away, not much. But have you guys realized something really interesting? We're not that far away from CN anymore. Right? We're not that far off. CN has been taking breaks from here to there, and we've been catching up quite a bit. Really interesting. Wait. Code of Brawl ends in 2 weeks, and then we immediately get Mountain. We'll see how that goes. We'll see how that goes. CN hasn't been taking any breaks in between as well. But I think they will take a break in between events for us, because do we really want to fully catch up to CN that much? Especially, like, imagine we're gonna have to rush through 2 CCs to catch up. CC Season 3 and CC Season 4. That's a bit too much for me personally. Just saying. 2 CCs, like, really squashed together, is not for me. I don't want that. I don't want that amount of pressure ever when I'm playing Arknights. I'm more of a chill player now. Like, I play my Chinese content, I have fun with it. Like, I don't watch other people's strategy. I still make it through myself. So I'm still using my brain. But I'm not like, oh my god, I want the hardest content, hardcore gaming, 24/7, let's go. I'm not that kind of guy. Right? Like, you don't see me go around and challenge like one operator certain something clear. You don't see me do that. Like, maybe back in CC beta, I was more into like, oh, let's go for the highest risk. Not really anymore. I've learned my limit, and I know where my limits are, and I know that highest risk is probably not the most interesting thing to me. At least I feel like. I want to understand how things work, and then I attempt it myself. Maybe not at the highest risk, but, you know, certainly hard enough, and I'll be happy with it. So yeah, CCs, man. I don't want that many CCs. I'm not gonna lie. I don't want that many CCs. It's gonna be really tough for us. And then there's the co-op mode. And in CC Season 5 it become a stall game like CC. Don't even mention CC Season 4. CC Season 4 is broken. Okay, guys, hear me out. I don't want to spoil too much, but this thing I have to complain. I'm not really that much of a complaint guy. But in CC Season 4, the best strategy is this. You want to bring Liscom with you, right? You want to bring Liscom with you for her talent where she regenerates an SP for other operators. And then you want to bring Bybeak. Bybeak's skill 2 is that she can stun 6 enemies for 1.2 seconds at skill level 7, by the way. And she can store up to 3 charges. And the main enemy in CC Season 4 is really slow on attacking. What happens is that what you want to do in CC Season 4 is use Liscarm plus Bybeak skill 2 to indefinitely stun the enemy so that they can't even hit you once. What's up, TF5? Amen? I can't really pronounce his name, sorry. Imagine doing a single run of CC where it takes over maybe even 2 hours to do a single run. And if you misclick a skill once, it's over. You have to redo the whole grind because you're chipping away at the enemy's HP bit by bit, bit by bit, bit by bit with this skill. With this, deals 170 attack, 170% attack as at ba.rem greater than arts, smaller than / greater than damage. Yes. I don't know what's wrong with this description, but that's the skill. Ovens when unstoppable force touching the operator. Chipping a golem off. Like, that's what you're doing. You're literally chipping its HP off like bit by bit. You're like using a sandpaper and then like grinding off a huge rock into dust. That's what you're doing. And the sandpaper probably isn't even that good. Like you're not using like diamond or something. You're not using like those high grade like sandpaper. You're using like this cheapo sandpaper that's not even that good at sanding things off. It's just chipping it away bit by bit. It takes ages and it's dumb. I hate CC Season 4 for that. There are other strategies, but the highest risk, you're pretty much limited to that strategy. That's too much pressure if you use... Yeah, so if you misuse the skill once and the enemy hits you, she's dead. She's dead. Like, how is that supposed to make sense? And that's like the best strategy. That's the only way you can get the highest risk, I think. I can't really recall any other strategy. There might be a arch damage melting enemy strategy. Have I talked about that? Oh, I said I'm gonna talk about the whole arch melting enemy strategy in my Surtur Shijupool video. So I hope you guys look forward to that. Let's wait a little bit. Melt only got to 31. Yeah, something like that. So melting isn't even the best choice, but melting feels awesome. Like arch damage melting enemy feels so comfortable. Like you just look at the enemy's HP just like dissolve as just like, how should I put it? It's like putting a drop of like a little cube of ice into like super boiling water and it just melts straight away. It feels so good. So yeah, C Season 4. Not looking forward to it. I think that's about it. It's quite a short stream, only about an hour. But I feel like I've covered pretty much everything up till what Chinese is having right now. Oh, and yeah, obviously there's our first co-op mode. To be honest, they even sent out a survey asking how people feel about the co-op mode in the Rainbow Six Siege collaboration. And from what I've seen, like from a lot of Chinese players I've seen, no one's really like, it's really bad. Co-op mode with 1000 ping. Hey, you guys know how 777 Lucky, he released a video saying something like, oh my god, a 200 ping co-op mode, and then he's like crying emoji or something. I don't even remember like the exact title, but something along those lines. And he's like sad about having 200 ping. You know what I played at? 1200 ping I had to play at. It's not the best experience whatsoever. Not to say the amount of times I got into like a random like party and my ally just, my friend just like, I mean my team member just quit outright. And I was like, why did you just quit? We just got into the game. So yeah, it's not really that good, I must say. I guess when we get it in EN, but okay, I don't know what technology they're using. Are they? I think they're using, like, you have to connect to the server, which is causing the majority of the lag. That's what I think. Right? So if I were to play this co-op mode and I have to connect from Australia to wherever the server is located, I don't think it's gonna end well for me. I don't think it's gonna end well for me. It's just saying. Just saying. Australia's in a really bad position for any kind of connection to other country. The ping is bad. Okay? What I really want is P2P. If I can get P2P, at least I can probably find some Aussies. Like, I believe out of the thousands of subscribers I have on YouTube, I can find one that lives in Australia and is willing to play with me so that we can clear the thing together easy. I hope that is it. Because I don't want to be connecting like to the US and getting like 2000 ping and trying to do co-op mode. It's gonna be too painful. It's gonna be too painful. Can you explain camel operator before you go? Camel operator? Who are you talking about? Camel operator. I actually don't know who you're talking about. Sorry. You mind like giving me like a name or something? CC medic? Huh? Do you mean whispering? Do you mean whispering? Oh, this? 2 year? Oh, this one. how should I put it? Not really worth the time. So obviously her skill 1 is pointless. You literally have the same skill with Shiny. Like, this is exactly the same skill as Shiny skill 2. And it's pointless. Don't bother with it. Skill 2. It's not good enough. You know why? This skill ends when the effect has been activated 3 times. You only get it 3 times in 50 seconds. Let me tell you a better operator for that. Warfarin skill 1. It literally heals 25% of the target's max HP. And you know how many people have Warfarin skill 1 M3? Most of the people who participated in CC Season 2 and tried really high risk. Because Warfarin is really good. Really, really good in that CC. I personally have Warfarin skill 1 M3 just for that CC. So when you have Warfarin to do a better job, why would you need Tuye? How do you even pronounce her name? Tuye? I'll just read her Chinese name, Tuye, but like, I don't see a point in her. Absolutely not. Just absolutely not. Even if you combine her talent, which is 155%, and this thing for 300% attack, you're still looking at about 450% attack. 450% attack is roughly, let's say 5 times. You're not even, you can at most get 2000 HP depending on who you're healing. But you know, you can't be healing for 4 seconds, which is quite a lot to be asking for. Someone else with a similar talent but more interesting is Iris. You know her trait? Actually, you guys don't. They didn't even translate her trait on Ace Ship. So allow me to translate this for you, okay? Iris is a caster, so she deals arch damage, obviously. But when when she can attack but can't find a target, right? So no one's in her attack range, she will charge her attack. And then once the enemy comes towards her, goes into her attack range, she will pretty much deal like all those damage into 1 hit. She can charge up to 3. So literally, that means she will immediately get a 300% attack just from her trait. Now, combining that with her talent, which can increase the attack power of stored attack energy to 130%, that becomes 390%. 390%, that is still there, okay? But you have to combine that with her skill. I think you can combine that with her skill. I'm not really sure. I haven't really tried it. But even just with this, even just with her talent and her trait, you know there's a video on Bilibili where she literally one-shot Patriot with her normal attack. Obviously, like, there's a lot of buff going on to give her like really high attack, but one-shotting Patriot with this skill, like with this trait, she is really interesting and really fun to play with, not gonna lie. So yeah, it's I would say this is really similar to 2 years effect, but this is more like towards attacking, while the other ones are towards healing. I say this is better. When she's coming out, she will be coming out with Archeto. So after chapter 8, and then maybe after Mountain. So we're looking at about half a year away, I would say, is roughly where. Oh, maybe 5 months. 5 months away from Iris and Archetto. So yeah, you guys can really look forward for her. Like, really look forward after her. Like, she will be fun. And same with a lot of other operators that I've talked about, right? Because remember how we have what is her name again? Bean something. Oh my god, my memory is fading away. Beanstalk, yes. Beanstalk is really interesting, and that's literally from the same banner. And like, it's a Vanguard that can summon. It's a Vanguard that can stand on high ground, has the attack range of a like normal single target sniper like Exia, and can summon like things to block for you, to block for her. Beanstalk, really interesting to have. So yeah, I think we'll get a lot more interesting operators to come. Not to say Robin, Vanguard aka Sniper but summon, but also generates DP. Like, she's got all the best things to like combined into her. You see? And then there's Kafka and Robin. Like, this mountain banner is so good. Have I talked about Kafka yet? Let me see. Where is she? Kafka. Yeah, quick redeploy. But she's interesting, but not the most important one. In this same banner, Robin is the interesting one, like I said before. And let's close Ace Ship. Time to stop leeching off Ace Ship. They spend a lot of time cutting those, like copying those texts from CN and not translating it. Imagine, Iris has been out for so long. Archetto is January. It's been 2 months and they still haven't translated her trait. You heard how I get almost max spot mountain, but not Kafka? Yeah, 5 stars is really low chance. It feels bad. Robin was warfare though. Robin, again, Robin is one of those operators that you can literally have because she can stun, she can push with her traps. Pushing and stunning, both combined. And she's only one. And like, that's so good, you know? That is just so good. How can you not want Robin? Not that I have her leveled up, but I will when we get her in English in English server. Push, stun, and bind, yeah. So definitely. I'm looking forward to the new operators. There is a few things I don't look forward to. A few things. New mechanic in chapter 8. I'm not looking forward to. Absolutely not. You guys will understand. If you guys don't know what I'm talking about, wait until chapter 8 and then come back to watch this stream. You will understand what I'm talking about. And then Frost is similar to Robin. Yes. Yep. Frost is really similar, which I'm fine with. Also, yeah, CC and co-op mode. You already saw a glimpse of it. Not looking forward to it as well. You understand what I'm talking about. Hey, no spoilers for those of you who knows what I'm talking about. For those of us that somewhat knows, you'll understand exactly what I'm talking about. Everyone will understand what I'm talking about. Yeah, I think Arknights is still a great game. Gonna wait to hate it when it comes out. Gonna wait to hate it. Yeah. Have fun. That's all I'll say. If you don't know what I'm talking about, have fun. It's quite bad if you'll be in pain to clear that thing. Ah, yes. And then there's like the newest Annihilation in Chinese server right now, which has the exact same mechanic. Oh yeah. This is gonna be so much fun. Oh, by the way, we have 2 new Annihilations that are coming. So you know how currently our maximum weekly Orundum is at 1,700, 1,700 right now? That will actually raise to 1,800. But that is the max, according to the devs. The developers said that they will not increase the maximum Orundums ever again. So let's look forward to that. Also, yeah, they will have rotational Annihilation, yes. Which, they're not that hard. More pools? Yes. Definitely a yes for me. I like it. More pools. Also, you know how like the first time you clear a certain amount of, like, let's say 400 kills, you can get some extra like experience and long dollar. Those will keep coming for every single new Annihilation. So you're literally getting free stuff for doing your weekly grind. So yeah. I would say, as of right now, I can still look forward. Like, I mean, you guys can still look forward for what's to come. Maybe not like really like huge hype after Surtur, but there is still more good stuff to come. A lot more good content to come. And yeah, I hope you guys can enjoy the game and maybe stay with me in this like random YouTube channel that really makes videos and doesn't even talk about too much Chinese content, but still keeps making videos from time and again. But I will always be here. So I hope if you guys like the game, stay with me. It's a good game and I think it deserves our love. Alrighty, time to end the stream here. Like I said, this won't be a long stream just because, you know, it is pretty much spoiler, and that's really all I want to talk about. I want to hype things up a little bit since there isn't really much happening with Arknights right now. I feel like maybe, you know, some hype can bring more like attraction back to the game. So yeah, love seeing a lot of you coming today. Thanks for coming. Love y'all. I will see you guys in most likely the should you pull Surtur banner video. And obviously we'll know the answer. Just pull. Can't perform the storm? At least Surtur banner will be the storm, I think. Yep. Thank you guys for coming. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.